So today we will explore some other problems on LODs only. So let me set the context for today's set of problems before we get into that. So if you might be familiar with NBA, it's a National Basketball Association in US. So just like how we have IPL here, they have NBA there. It's a league, basketball league. It consists around like 30 teams and all. Okay, today will be so on this particular set of problems we'll be dealing with betting data. So we call it bookie data, betting data on this particular league. So let me just give you a brief terminology to understand all the questions and all. So a bookie is the one who is offering the bet. Okay, that person is called a bookie, and a company you place bet with, or a person or company. Data has 10 different bookies. So we are in the data that we are trying to look. We have 10 different bookies. They can be identified with bookie name and bookie ID, and there is some terminology related to basketball league. I'll get into that when required. So there is something called spread. Okay, think of it as a like this. I'll get a little detail actually a little later. Yeah, so this is the data that we have. We have each game represented by game ID, and in that particular game there can be multiple companies or bookies who are interested to bet. So we have multiple bookie IDs in that particular, and each bookie ID can represent, since the game involves two teams, he can put the bet on any of those teams, either one or or both the teams as well. So now there's something called spread. Now how the spread is defined is something like this. Think of a case, let's say if you have to bet in a cricket match, you will just go, okay, this team will win or not. That's a simple betting happen right there, yes or no sort of thing. But let's assume that if you're Australia is playing with some Afghanistan, then you definitely know the results of the team, results of the match, right? So in that case, in order to promote betting, what they did is they've the betting parts have been changed. So it will not bet on which team will win, but you'll bet on which team will win or lose by how much. So here it's also the same thing. Let's assume if we know that particular team is winning, and you can bet on it will win by how much runs, or if you know that this team is losing, it will lose by how many runs, likewise. So the spread is something that gives the same information related to in the basketball league. For example, let's assume in this particular game there is a team ID for this particular bookie. On this team it was a spread of -4. That means the team name is Chicago Bulls. It's telling that, hey, and this is the definition. Basically, this guy is telling that, hey, I know this particular team will win in this match, but I not only I know that, but Chicago Bulls team will win by at least 4 points. Okay, that's his bet. And the same bet on the same match, this guy is telling the opponent team for this particular same match is telling, I know this team will lose, but it will lose by at least 4 points. And likewise. So that is the definition of spread. So if it is negative for a particular team in a match, then people are expecting that particular team will win in that match. If it is positive, then they're thinking that, hey, that team will lose in that particular match. Hope that is clear. So this is the data that which we have. The granularity is in each game we have different bookies who raise their bet on different teams with different spreads. Okay, and we have the team and opponent. And we have these few other fields here as well. The team is home field, which basically tells if the match is playing in the home ground of the team field, if it's played here or not, in which place. And then team results of the match, team win or loss. So if it is W, that means the team in the team column. So Chicago Bulls has won here, and in the same match, Indian Pacers have lost. Indiana Pacers have lost. So that is the brief overview of the data. I'll get into the problems we have, and I'll explain whenever required with some additional information. Okay, so this is the first question that we have. Explain this. So here they're trying to see. Let me actually get the data. I'll have a look at the data. So this will. We are familiar with this look, so it will help us. Yeah. Here we have bookie ID, bookie name, and game call, right? Ignore this column for the timing, it's a calculated field. We have game data, game date, sorry, game ID, and we have the opponent and the opponent team abbreviation. So we will basically have two teams. The first primary team is called team, and the opponent team is called opponent, and their abbreviations and all. And we have the place where what type of league it is, opponent conference or opponent region, etc., and which season it is. And we have team ID. This column we know the region of the team, and I think those are the few base columns which we have in the incoming data, and rest all our calculated fields we'll go through. Close this now and come back to this question. Yeah, here we are exploring what is the lowest average spread for each year for the Global State Warriors. So Global State Warriors is a certain team, okay, and for that particular team we are interested in knowing across an year, across the years, what is my lowest spread in a particular year. Okay, let me quickly show the visualization so you'll understand it a little better. So this is the final visualization. Yeah, so this is the final visualization we have, and here we can see across multiple years. In this particular year 2007 and 2008 combined, this is my lowest spread, average spread that I can expect across all the months for this particular team GSW. Now let's see how we can get achieve that. So yeah, this is just an little more information related to the problem. We have different games, and I filtered for only the team which we are interested in, GSW, and these are all the different opponents that which it had played games with. Okay, and in each of these games, these are the different bookies who have raised interest in betting the game for. And the value that we see here, the second value in each box itself is a spread for that particular specific bookie on that particular game. Okay, now we are interested in knowing the average for this particular team across all game IDs, and what is the minimum of across all those averages in a year. And let's go ahead and develop that. So first of all, we are only interested in one particular team, so I'll definitely go ahead and put that filter that team which we are interested in. And since we get to deal with a lot of LOD expressions, and in order not this filter to mess up with our calculations, I'll just convert it to context, so that only this data related to team GSW we will be working with on all the calculations. Now, okay, now I need to know the average spread. We just got we just saw the structure of all these things, how the my spread is present in the data. Now I'll have to look at the take a calculated field. Loading. let's say now we are here, we are basically looking at all the games that this particular team has played. So we need to build a calculation at a game level. Okay, since there are multiple spread values across each game, just as how we saw different bookies can have different spreads, I need to get the average for each of the games. So fix it, I need to perform a calculation at a game ID level, so I'll do that. And I'll just take average of my spread from different bookies. Now this will give me spread for that particular across all. This will give me a table with each game and average spread value for that particular game. Now, if you see the question that we are interested in, what is the lowest average spread for each year for Golden State Warriors? So we need to get the value for each month and then take the minimum across all the we need to extract this game ID average spread value across all the year and find out the minimum and put that across throughout the year for that particular as a minimum spread value. So obviously we need to perform here the calculation at the year level. So we will perform fixed date trunk of year from game date, have a date of the game field, and then from here we will extract the minimum of this value. Of this. Spread across years. So simply I'll get my game date.
Basically, you're taken for each year, for each game, what is the average
Yeah,
spread? Okay.
it's kind of that. And taking the I've used two different expressions because my aggregation is different in each one. One in the initial one I took average, and later I need to get the minimum of those averages that were present in that year. And my spread across years. So this is the each minimum spread value for each of the minimum average spread value for each year. So that for this particular team, and this is the solution that we have. And hope this is clear. And